Tom's own words best describe his role and passion for the Arts Council. Tom is quoted as saying, "Cities are defined by their creative energy. I believe a vibrant community is a vibrant arts community. That's why one of the things I love most about my work is convening and connecting people." So please, without further ado, Tom Katzenmeyer.
I had forgotten that little tidbit, Scott. He did succeed me on Hilliard City Council. Thank you for having me. I got invited back. I was here maybe two and a half years ago when I first took over my position at the Arts Council, and I promise you I'm a little bit smarter, and we have a lot going on, so there's a lot to update you about. I've got two friends with me here, Anal, who's leaning against the wall, and Allison, who's down front here, that work with me every day. So thank you for your service for the arts in Columbus. I also have some great friends in the crowd. Steve Ives, the CEO of the YM, is back there. Steve, thanks for being here. Peter, where's Peter? Peter Yockel, sitting at the table with you there, who actually is the founder and runs the Short North stage with his partner. Just a great facility in Columbus. You're going to hear me talk about that later. Rich Ramsey's here. I saw Keith DeVoe and a lot of others, so thank you again. So here's what I'm going to do today. I have 6 or 7 slides. I've got 2 30-second videos, and then I'm going to take questions. So we're going to roll through this, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So the first thing I want to talk about is, why is this important at all for the city of Columbus? And there's 6 or 7 things on that slide. You can't read them all, but I'll click through them real quick. First of all, it's about the jobs that are related to it. So it's $226 million in economic activity and 8,500 jobs in Central Ohio that relate to arts and culture. It's also about attracting tourism and the convention business to Columbus. There's not a convention that is pitched that does not get a pitch about what there is to do here when you're visiting Columbus. So the librarians are having their international convention here in August. We were very much a part of that pitch, and we're very much a part of funding the opening session at that, which is going to feature a selection of local artists performing for them. It's also about talent and retention, talent attraction and retention. So again, every corporation luring people to move to Columbus talks about what there is to do here when you move here. It's also about neighborhood transformation. I saw some folks from Franklinton come in today. Franklinton, the revitalization of Franklinton is being led by the arts and culture organizations that are moving over there. There's 120 artists that are working in Strongwater, in loft space over there. We're going to move our offices there in about 2 years in a building that's going to begin construction soon. The Red Herring Theater Company is putting on a play there right now in new space on West Rich Street in an old building that seats 40 people. That's going to be pretty cool. It's called End the Game. If you get a chance to get out to that, I highly recommend it. It's also about the artists, arts organizations, Glass Axis, the Idea Foundry, leading the way to the revitalization of the Franklinton neighborhood. And here's the most astounding thing I'm going to tell you today, and that is that nonprofit arts attendance in Columbus is 1.44 times that of all sports attendance. So nonprofit arts attendance are the things that GCAC funds. It doesn't include when Paul McCartney or Justin Bieber come to the arena. It just includes the nonprofit activities. It doesn't include the zoo, which many sort of count as a cultural attraction. And the sports number includes all the Buckeye sports, the Crew, the Blue Jackets, and the Clippers. So arts attendance, 1.44 times that of all sports. So I think that's pretty neat. And it's one of my key talking points when I'm out advocating on behalf of the arts. Next, I want to talk a little bit about the audience. So we gather data from the organizations that we fund, and We have a large grant pool, actually, that we're getting very close to announcing the results of. Peter, you're in that pool this year, so you'll be getting some news from us soon. But nonprofit arts attendance since 2010 at the large organizations we fund is up 47%. So that's an astounding number. Actually, the attendance is up 22%. The earned income is up 47%. So earned income at an arts organization is admission fees, rentals, gift shop, catering activities that are done at. This is significant because we've really been working very hard at that. In the nonprofit world, I know a lot of you are affiliated with nonprofits, you have different funding streams, and earned income for the arts is significant. So the fact that that number is up 47% since 2010 is great. The biggest earned income number is at COSI, and that's 75%. So COSI gets 75% of their income from admissions, from memberships. The rest comes from government funding. We're a little bit of a slice of that, and individual funding. So earned income, very healthy. Attendance, very healthy. There's been a number of records broken in terms of attendance recently. The Nutcracker, which was done in December by Ballet Met, broke records. Pro Musica has now been routinely selling out audiences with standing ovations. The Museum of Art had a Wonder Ball for millennials, a fundraiser that was targeted at the millennial age group. They had 1,400 people at that event in January. And both Catco and Children's Theater have been just routinely selling out. So we're now in a position where you have to think about it ahead of time and get your tickets ahead of time. In fact, Children's Theater has had more than 55 sellout shows this spring season. So, and we also have a Top 25 Arts Festival. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that later. And we're animating the city with street performers. You probably, if you're out at Gallery Hop, although I know you had a big event Saturday. Yes, your Derby Day party. So you may not have been out at Gallery Hop. We had multiple musicians that we paid to perform at that. So last year we had 221 artists that were paid to perform at events like that. We also serve as champions, conveners, advocators. Whoops, we're almost there. Hang on. Hold that thought. We're driving growth in film and music. There's been 2 movies filmed here recently, one starring John Travolta called I Am Wrath, which unfortunately went straight to video, but so you can probably watch it on TV now. And the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, which was about a plane crash, it's called 478, that I think will be out later this year. Both those movies were filmed locally. That has an incredible impact on our economy when that happens. People are employed locally, they come here, they stay in hotels, they buy things, they're here for weeks at a time. It's fabulous. We're right behind that. We're gonna have a film summit on June 9th where we're gonna bring everyone together from the movie making businesses in Columbus and talk to them. We also are active in neighborhood development and revitalization. I mentioned the work in Franklinton, but we've also done murals in the inner city, street performers, which I mentioned. We fund many festivals, including our own Independence Day, which is another festival in Franklinton, and parking garage art. There's 2 parking garages in Columbus now that have art that we did the call for. It's local artists. The one at the convention center, it's actually worth going to and going up to the 8th floor and walking down and seeing the art on every floor. It's quite the attraction. We love to put local artists to work. And then we're going to tee up a couple videos here, but we started a marketing campaign last summer called Art Makes Columbus, Columbus Makes Art. It's a collaboration of all the arts organizations. We all have money in it. And it tells the stories of artists living and working in Columbus. You're going to see 2 of those in a second. We are funding that with private sector partners, including Cardinal Health, AEP, PNC, and the Columbus Foundation. It's been up for 10 months. In the first 6 months, we had 30 million impressions. It's a 5-year, $2.5 million campaign. It's designed to raise awareness in our market in the region and to sell tickets, to help arts organizations sell tickets. So I'm going to show you two 30-second spots. The first one is about Byron Stripling, who you might know. He's the leader of the Columbus Jazz Orchestra. And the second one is about Amy Lay, who is a performer at Shadowbox Live. And Shadowbox Live is the largest resident theater company in the United States. And it's right here in German Village. So let's watch those videos.
I'm Byron Stripling, and I'm a musician with the Columbus Jazz Orchestra. Making music requires every fiber of my being. Artists in history inspire me, just like artists in Columbus help to lift me up. So many foundations, corporations, companies, and individuals in Columbus know that art is important, and it's created an environment full of joy, passion, and heartfelt enthusiasm for the arts. Jazz is infectious and spontaneous. It's about life, and it brings us together in a way that nurtures all of us. I'm Byron Stripling. Jazz is my art, and there's no place I'd rather make it.
Amy Lay, performer, Shadowbox Live. I learned how to sing from my father. I studied acting in school. I dance every day. Name any skill in musical theater, and I've wanted to learn it and get better at it. Learning any craft is hard. It's supposed to be hard. Learn it anyway, and then keep rehearsing it until the audience sees your joy in performing it. In Columbus, we practice creativity every day, and we're good at it. The willingness to take risks, the courage to be original. A city that inspires creativity in us all. That's Columbus. I am Amy Lay. Performance is my art. And there's no place I'd rather make it.
In the first year of the campaign, we did 12 of these. They air on TV as PSAs. You'll also see them at the airport if you're traveling through the airport on the big video screens. And they are in print, in every print publication in Columbus. And we're also doing a lot of earned media from them. So we've had some of the artists writing op-ed pieces for the Dispatch. Byron Stripling did one for us. Mike Gonzarowski from PNC did one for us. He serves on my board. So it's a great campaign. Ology did the creative on it, and WOSU has produced all those commercials for us. So I'm thrilled about it. That's going to run for 5 years. There's an endless number of creative ideas to fuel this, the video part of the campaign. I want to talk real quickly about leadership. With former Mayor Coleman and City Council, we advocated for, this has happened since I was last here, and we received 2 increases in the city's bed tax and the removal of the cap on that. So there was a study done in 2012 about the bed tax and how arts and culture and Experience Columbus are funded. Result of that study, we got an increased percentage 2 years in a row. So the bed tax is my primary source of funding. Last year was a record year for the bed tax in Columbus because of how healthy the tourism business is here and because of how healthy the convention business is. So that brought us $6.2 million. And we have an annual contract with the city to administer that, and we're required by the city to grant out 75% of that money to arts organizations. That's actually what Allison does down in front here. So the bed tax is a very healthy source of revenue for us. We also have a high quality of artistic leadership in Columbus. I could mention a gazillion people here, but Edward Lang at Ballet Met, Peggy Dye, who runs Opera Columbus, David Dansmeyer, who runs Pro Musica, the curators at the Museum of Art, at the Pizzuti Collection, at the WEX. We also have incredible new facilities here. Hopefully you've all been to the Wells Barn for an event on the campus of Franklin Park Conservatory. The Museum of Art has a new wing, the Peggy Walter Wing. and the Pizzuti Collection on Goodale Park, which was opened probably a year and a half, 2 years ago, all must-see. And everybody right now is connected and collaborating on things. So it's routine and the expectation now for 4 or 5 arts organizations to actually come together and work on something together. And I'm going to mention a couple of those at the end here. We're also heavily involved in economic impact research. There's a study in the field right now that will be released in about a year that'll give me more current job numbers on the impact of our sector. So I'm going to talk about resources for a quick minute. So we've had this 2 years of more money coming in from the bed tax to fund artists and organizations, but we have incredible demands on our programs. So it's not necessarily a bad problem. I think the marketing campaign has lifted our visibility, so we have more people asking us for more money. So it's not completely sustainable, and we actually, it's basically the start of May now, we are out of money in all of our grant programs. So the money for artists, for project support, for boost grants that we give out to organizations, because of the number of applications we had in the first 4 or 5 months of the year, it's gone, and it's going to incredible things, and we just need to bring more money into the pipeline, and I'm going to talk about that next. We also set up 2 permanent endowments at the Columbus Foundation. We did that late last year, so we now have a community fund at the Columbus Foundation, and at some point I hope to do some grant making out of that, but that's a planned giving fund, and we'll have a marketing campaign for that too. And next I'm going to tell you a little bit about the Arts Festival because it's 30 days away. So I don't know whether you can all see this slide or not, but that's the geography of it. So 450,000 people, 300 artists, 6 stages, 1,100 performers, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, June 10th, 11th, and 12th. It's now a top 25 arts festival as rated by the artists. We have many, many new features. This year I'm going to mention 6 of them real quick. First of all, it's the 55th anniversary of the festival. So we're going to open it with the mayor and city council on that Friday, June 10th at 11 a.m. with some great fanfare. Opening night, we're going to do something new too. We've got Pro Musica and the Columbus Jazz Orchestra playing together for free at the Bicentennial Commons. So hopefully you all come down for that. And then right after that, we're going to do a show with Shadowbox Live, which is something new this year. They've created a multimedia music performance show to 20 pieces of local art that have been created by local artists. So we funded 20 artists to create new work for this show. It's going to a show for 2 nights at the Arts Festival, and then Shadowbox Live is going to move it into their house down there in the Brewery District, so you'll be able to see it down there. So we're pretty excited about that. We're going to have a River Fest. I mean, you see the river's been redone in front of you here, so with Morpsey, we're going to have many craft out on the river during the both Saturday and Sunday afternoon. And then also, if you want to ride your bike to the festival, because both paths to the river have opened up, you can come from the north now and come from the south. We're going to do a bike corral with Pelotonia. We're going to ask people to give us $5 donation, and we'll watch your bike for the day. So you can wander around the festival, and if you buy something, we will take it to your house for you. So you don't have to put it on your back and ride your bike home with it. But that's a fundraiser for Pelotonia. It's a great community event that we're going to do. It will benefit the James, so we're pretty excited about that. And then the last thing, we're going to have a dance party Saturday night with Nina West. Some of you know Nina West, who's a local transgender performer. I think that's the right way to describe Nina West. Yes, she's spectacular. A comment about the future. So this is the way forward. We need an increase in public funding, and you're going to hear me talk about that a lot yet this year. We're doing some legwork on it now, not an increase in the bed tax. The bed tax in the city of Columbus is high. It's 10% per room night. It funds us well, but we need another layer of public support. Other cities do other things. Most of them involve taxes and fees on things. I'll give you one example. It's Cleveland. They have a 30-cent per pack cigarette tax. It brings them $16, $17 million a year. It's been in place for 10 years. It entirely funds arts and culture in all of Cuyahoga County. So we have $6 million from the public bed tax. Cuyahoga County has $16, $17 million a year from a cigarette tax. It just got renewed by the voters up there, so it'll be in place for another 10 years. So I will be out there talking about this more and more. I've already had briefings with all the elected officials about it. We have broad corporate support now. We need to bring in more corporate support. We need to do more on public art. It's the most asked question everywhere I go. We have this fabulous linear park on the river now. It cries out for public art. We need to figure out a way to fund that and get that done. Most big cities have significant public art programs. In your travels, a lot of them are along waterfronts. Up in Seattle, it's on the Sound there. They have a fabulous walk, equal to ours, really. Ours is better, and it's lined with public art. So, but we'll get to that. There's an installation, you'll see it on the way, if you're going back into the city, called Flowing Kiss, that's right at Neal and Spring. That was funded $250,000 from a TIF that the city did and was put in place about 3 years ago. And I think you're just going to see more and more national attention on Columbus. Every story that is written about Columbus now nationally, when you see stories in the Chicago Tribune or the Tampa newspapers about Columbus, they talk about the Short North, Franklinton, what's happening at the Art Museum. The Art Museum's new wing got incredible national coverage for the architecture of it, so that's it's good. It's really an exciting time, and I did this last time I was here, but I'm going to finish with some recommendations. I think they might be at the table on your way out, so you don't have to write these down. I do this at great peril to myself because we fund, I think, 72 organizations. So I'm going to call out about 7 of them right now. These are things that you should do this summer and fall if you want to get a great sampling of what's happening in arts and culture. The first one is Pro Musica, and their two leaders are playing this Saturday and Sunday at the Southern Theater. It will be incredible, and it will sell out. So if you like chamber music, it's fabulous. Thank God I have the Short North stage on here because Peter's in the audience. Peter, I didn't know you were going to be here. They are doing a series of August Wilson plays this year. August Wilson was a playwright, African-American playwright from Pittsburgh, passed away about 10 years ago. I think he was both a Pulitzer and a Tony winner. They're doing 10 of his plays this year. This one is in June. Looks like it's cut off there, but June 2nd through 19th, I think. And you cannot go wrong going to the Short North stage. I'm just telling you, with what they do there locally, musicals, everything. They've got 2 stages there. The big house seats about 300, 350. The green room, when you walk in, seats maybe about 100. It's fabulous. I've had such a great experience going to shows there. I give that credit to Peter and Rick. The Arts Festival, again, 450,000 people right here on the 2 bridges. Shadowbox Live performance and the opening night performance of Pro Music and the Columbus Jazz Orchestra. That same week, the Harmony Project, the Communities Choir, is going to be at the Ohio Theater. Also that same week, this just tells you the magnitude of what's happening here. There's an incredible Picasso exhibit that's going to open and run through September on the first day of the Arts Festival. I highly recommend you get out to see that sometime this summer or early fall. Twisted 2 is coming. It's a collaboration between Ballet Met, the Columbus Symphony, and Opera Columbus. That's September 22nd through 25th at the Ohio Theater. And this is actually one of my favorites. I'm going to get to see this show next week in Washington. The Plough and the Stars, which is a show, an Irish play. It opened at the Abbey Theatre, which is the National Theatre of Dublin, Ireland, about a month ago. It's going to tour the United States. It's going to come to Washington, Boston, and Columbus. We are hosting that here in Columbus, October 26th through 30th. It's about the Irish uprising and the Easter Rising, I think, as the Irish call it. I don't think they would call it an uprising, but it's the 100th anniversary of the founding of the country of Ireland this year. So you're going to hear a lot about this play. It's coming here. We're funding it with Ohio State and Kappa and Catco and a couple other partners, and we're going to try to do everything we possibly can to get people like the Irish ambassador to come here to watch it. And one more thing which I didn't put on the slide but is significant is Columbus Day weekend. We're going to open up artist studios and the back stages of the major theater houses in Columbus. It's called, I forget exactly what we're calling it, but it's a citywide self-guided art studio and stage tour. So Columbus Day weekend, artists are going to apply. We're going to select a number of artists. And you're also going to get to go like backstage at the Ohio, backstage at the Southern, backstage at Ballet Met, and we're going to try to animate the whole city Columbus Day weekend doing that. So I'm really looking forward to that. But you'll actually get to go to visit with artists in their studios and get to places that you might not get a chance normally to go to. So with that, I think I'm ready to take questions if we have time. If anyone, I have a couple minutes, yes. Anybody? Yes, Paul.
Is there a website or a publication that we can keep track of all these things?
Yes, so the Art Makes Columbus, Columbus Makes Art website, it's probably on one of those handouts. That's where you should go. And it will drive you to the most amazing arts calendar, and then you can also get to buying tickets from the organizations too. So I think everything's there pretty much. So just remember, Art Makes Columbus, Columbus Makes Art. Other questions? Yes.
How do you feel about the changed role of Kappa that started as a real estate development and changed to an arts manager?
Kappa's been great. I'll tell you what's happened at Kappa. What he's referring to is they handle a lot of the back office work for probably 8 or 10 different arts organizations. And that, if you were running a corporation, that's how you would do it. It makes a lot of sense. So they do back office work on fundraising, marketing, ticket sales, logistics, things like that. It saves the arts community a lot of money to do that. So Kappa manages the Ohio Theater, the Palace Theater, the Southern Theater, the Drexel Theater, the New Albany Performing Arts Space out there, the McCoy Center, and a number of the Rife theaters downtown, but also does the back office. So like they do the financials for Franklin Park Conservatory, for instance. So there's they've bundled it all down there, and it makes a lot of sense. So it's over, again, the time periods that I've been talking, expenses, so you've got growth in earned income, you've got growth in attendance, but we've been able to hold expenses flat sort of on the sector as a whole, and it is primarily because of the work that Kappa has done bringing everyone together. So that's a great question. Thank you. Yes?
Share some color on your street performer program. I've always tipped them. I didn't know that they were funded by this.
Well, you should still tip them. He's asking about the street performers. They basically are getting like $50 an hour to be out there. So if somebody has a gig, it's funny, Mayor Coleman used to talk about this all the time. We gotta give people the opportunity to have gigs, which is what he called it. And so we're basically paying them $50 an hour. If you're out for 3 nights at the airport, or if you're out at Gallery Hop or some other giant city event, you're basically getting $150. So these are artists. This is their sole source of income. Everything we do, we are always paying the artists. So it's an important part of our grant program. We don't fund anything where the artists are not being free or where the artists are donating their time, because it is their livelihood. So So they are getting paid by us, but I would still strongly recommend that you tip them if you are so inclined. It's not a lot of money when you think about it. And they're probably just getting a couple gigs like that or playing in a couple bars a couple nights a month. So we have a woman who works for me whose husband is an artist, and that's what he does. She has the job, she has the benefits, but he performs. He's an incredible artist, but it's hard to live like that, and there's nothing that's steady about it, as you can imagine. But we really value it. Yes?
I live in German Village. I'm so proud of all the activities we have going on throughout the year. Do you ever see GCAC funding community activity? That you would provide funding, say, to Clintonville or funding to Bexley, and the activity within the community. It's so healthy to live in a community where you can walk to the restaurants, you see people on the street, and you know them, your neighbors, you see them at various functions. We have the summer Shakespeare in the Park, and so many other things in German Village.
Yep.
Do you see GCAC ever providing funding to local communities within the city of Columbus?
Absolutely. It's a great question, and we actually do that. So we fund Actors Theater, which is the theater company he's talking about. They perform Shakespeare in the park, in Schiller Park. We've funded that, I bet, probably more than 10 years, so we're a major funder of that. We would absolutely be interested in other ideas coming from the German Village area, so we fund numerous festivals around town. We've not only ours, but the festival season actually is about to start. The Asian Festival is Memorial Day weekend at Franklin Park, so we fund that. We're one of the funders of Red, White, and Boom. We're one of the funders of First Night. We're one of the funders of Independence Day, which is in Franklinton. That's the kind of event that we're looking for to animate a community. So whether it's the grant application might come from the German Village Society or something like that, we would welcome that. And there's monies available for project support to do those kinds of things. As long as it's related to arts and culture, we can probably figure out. We can also help them market things. We do that with Actors Theater, which again is something worth checking out. It's free theater all summer long down in Schiller Park there. So thank you for the question. Anything else? Thank you very much for having me.
So I think the key to everything that Tom was talking about is collaboration. Organizations like the GCAC and the German Village Society and ColumbusRotary, all of us working together. We have a lot of shared bonds and a lot of shared interests in bringing the city forward. So let's just all keep, collaborating. Next week's speaker, I know you're going to be very excited about this, is going to be the roller derby girls. So only Mike Schettinger could find us such esteemed, speakers. So be sure and come back. In the meantime, be a Rotarian all week long.